High blood pressure is often called the silent killer, and there's a reason why. It rarely comes with dramatic symptoms, and yet it quietly affects nearly 7 in 10 seniors over the age of 60. But your body does send small signals, you just have to know what to look for. Today I'm walking you through 8 subtle warning signs, and stick around for number 8, because most people never connect it to blood pressure at all. Let's get started. Here's why this matters so much after 60. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become a little stiffer, and that can push blood pressure higher over time. Research suggests unmanaged high blood pressure is associated with a higher risk of stroke, heart problems, and even memory changes down the road. The tricky part is that many seniors feel completely normal even when their numbers are high. That's exactly why learning these warning signs is so valuable. They can nudge you to get checked before a small issue becomes a bigger one. And remember, only a doctor can tell you your actual numbers, so always get your blood pressure checked regularly. Sign number 1 is a headache that shows up first thing in the morning, especially at the back of your head or around your temples. Occasional headaches happen to everyone, but a pattern of morning headaches, several times a week, is worth paying attention to. Some research suggests this may be linked to blood pressure changes that happen overnight while you sleep. If you've been waking up with a dull, heavy ache more often lately, it doesn't mean anything is seriously wrong, but it is a good reason to check in with your doctor and track your blood pressure at home for a week. Sign number 2 involves your eyes. Have you noticed brief blurry vision, spots, or a strange dimming when you stand up? Blood pressure changes can affect the tiny blood vessels in your eyes, and some seniors describe it as looking through a slightly foggy window for a few seconds. It usually passes quickly, which is exactly why it's easy to brush off. But if it's happening more than once in a while, it's one of those small clues your body might be giving you. Mention it at your next eye exam or doctor visit, just to be safe. Sign number 3 is getting short of breath during activities that used to feel easy, climbing a small flight of stairs, carrying groceries, or even a short walk. It's easy to blame this on getting older, and sometimes that's exactly what it is. But when it happens more often, it can also be connected to how hard your heart is working against elevated pressure in your blood vessels. Before I tell you sign number 4, I want you to know this next one catches almost everyone off guard, so keep watching. Sign number 4 is nosebleeds that seem to come out of nowhere, especially if you rarely got them before. For most people, nosebleeds are just dry air or a minor bump. But very high blood pressure can occasionally put extra pressure on the tiny vessels inside your nose, making them more likely to break. If you notice random nosebleeds becoming more frequent, it's worth mentioning to your doctor at your next visit, so they can check your numbers and rule things out. Sign number 5 is feeling your heartbeat, a fluttering, pounding, or racing feeling in your chest or neck, even when you're just sitting still. Many seniors describe it as suddenly becoming aware of their own heartbeat in a way they weren't before. This can have several causes, and blood pressure is one of them. It doesn't always mean something is wrong, but a heartbeat that feels unusually strong or irregular is always worth having a doctor listen to, just for peace of mind. Sign number 6 is dizziness or feeling a little unsteady, especially when you stand up quickly from sitting or lying down. Doctors sometimes call this a head rush, and while it can happen to anyone now and then, it becomes more meaningful if it's happening often. Sudden changes in blood pressure can affect the blood flow reaching your brain for just a moment, and that split second can throw off your balance. If you've had a few close calls standing up too fast, try rising slowly in stages, sit up first, pause, then stand. And let your doctor know, especially if you've ever felt like you might fall. Sign number 7 is fatigue that doesn't really go away, even after a full night's sleep. This one is tricky because tiredness has so many possible causes as we get older. But when your heart is working harder than it should to move blood through your body, it can leave you feeling drained in a way that rest alone doesn't fix. If you've been feeling unusually worn out for weeks with no clear reason, it's a good signal to get your blood pressure checked. And now, here's the surprising one I promised you. Sign number 8, the one most people never connect to blood pressure, is trouble concentrating or feeling a bit foggy mentally. Some research suggests that consistently high blood pressure over time may affect blood flow to the brain, which can show up as difficulty focusing, misplacing words, or feeling mentally slower than usual. This doesn't mean every foggy day is a blood pressure problem. Memory and focus can dip for lots of reasons. But if it's a new pattern for you, it's worth mentioning at your next doctor's appointment, alongside how you've been sleeping and feeling overall. So what should you actually do with all of this? First, get a simple home blood pressure monitor. They're inexpensive, easy to use, and checking your numbers twice a week gives you and your doctor real information instead of guesswork. Second, keep a small notebook or notes app where you jot down any of these signs if they show up: headaches, dizziness, fatigue, so you can spot patterns instead of one-off moments. Third, and this is the most important step, talk to your doctor regularly, especially if you notice 2 or more of these signs together. Blood pressure is very manageable once you know what's going on, and most seniors who stay on top of it go on to live full, active, independent lives. Let's do a quick recap: morning headaches, blurry vision, shortness of breath, sudden nosebleeds, a pounding heartbeat, dizziness when standing, ongoing fatigue, and trouble concentrating. None of these mean something is definitely wrong, but together they're your body's way of asking you to pay a little more attention. Here's your one action step for tomorrow: pick up a home blood pressure monitor, or if you already have one, use it first thing in the morning before coffee. If this video helped you, subscribe to Health After 60 for more simple, science-backed videos for healthy aging, and check out our video on the 5 foods every senior should eat every day, right after this one.